Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Let's thank our members: Invictus, Crazy Book, Cots, our Patreons, Interceptor, Richardson, Danny Cage, and Rupert. Thank you guys, it helps a lot. You have no idea how much. Make sure to be a member, a Patreon. We have a PayPal as well. Everything is in the description. Check it out if you want to help the channel. You are helping me financially to support the channel. This is my main job, so it always helps, you know. Any amount on PayPal or anything like that if you want to. Don't feel pressure. But yeah, it helps if you want to. So yeah, we talked a little bit about in the EJ video, in the EJ, I mean the F4 EJ, a couple of days ago, you know, talking how I consider that aircraft one of the worst, if not the worst, F4 in the game. And a lot of people argued that the F4C was actually one of the worst actually, and or even the F4F. But to be honest, man, the F4C has a pretty alright BR. Now we are having a little bit of a problem facing A10As with that and the Su-25s, but still, it is still kind of alright. And the F4F, it is the lightest F4 in the game. I mean, it's just the better turning F4 in the game, so it is a very good aircraft. The EJ cannot do anything particularly well. It's kind of a jack of all trades, that it is more on the bad side than on the good, doing everything good, but nothing great, you know. So yeah, and with that idea, I just wanted to make a video on the MiG-21 PFM. I personally don't consider this aircraft the worst MiG-21 in the game. I still consider the F-13 the worst, not because it is a bad aircraft. I still consider these both of these aircraft very, very good, and I love to fly them. But they have some problems, especially if you take a look on the BR. I mean, they're both 9.3, which is completely nuts if you think about it, because they are MiG-21s, and they are going to destroy any subsonic aircraft if they want to, and if the guy that flies these aircraft pay attention. Of course, it's a MiG-21, obviously. They have its problems, especially in the sense of power. They are more on the underpowered kind of side of things compared to the other MiG-21s. The R11, these are very old R11 engines. They are very, very underpowered, to be honest. But still, just compared to the other ones, you still lose a lot of energy just due to the wing design. It's the same principle that we see in the Barrage, for example. So it's just it's a different kind of way to fly an aircraft. And with the SMT, with even the MF, the BIS, all the other MiG-21s, you kind of have a very good engine to deal with that. With the amount of energy that you lose, you just can accelerate the amount that you want very quickly. So it's problematic, but it's not the worst thing ever, but it is a problem. And obviously the gun, I mean, the F-13 has its gun that it's hard to use. This one uses the same gun as the other MiGs, so the GSH-23, so it's kind of fine. Here we have a problem with the missiles, so it's the R3Ss. They're not the greatest missile ever, but you can use for an effect as well. It's a very good weapon. And the radar is not the greatest, but it helps a little bit. So it is not a particularly amazing aircraft for the aircraft that we fight against it. You are going to face a lot of 9.7s, 10.0s, and 10.3s. Normally you are facing up tiers, which means that this aircraft is always on a step behind the other aircraft. They normally have better missiles than you, and the performance normally is better than yours as well, in a certain area at least. So you have to be careful. But the thing is, these are not 9.3 aircraft. These are not 9.3 material. This is supposed to be like a 9.7 at least, or 10.0. But the thing is, I just think that the statistics tell you about that these aircraft, these two aircraft, the F-13 and the PFM, but we are talking mainly about the PFM today, they have a very, very steep learning curve, which means that the statistics of these aircraft, they are very poor, and it makes it have a very, very low BR, which translates to a very, very good aircraft if you have the time to actually play it. Even though you face a lot of up tiers, as I said, it is an aircraft that it is just, if you have the hang of it, You will get a lot of kills, you can get a lot of aces with it, and it's still a MiG-21, man. I think a lot of people dislike, especially the PFM, because once when it was added, it was really, really bad. As I said, because it has a learning curve, and a lot of players that never played with any MiG were getting it, and that just turns out to become a very bad statistic for a lower BR, you know. So there is that factor, but it's still a very, very capable aircraft. Still Mach capable, Mach 2 even, at high altitudes. Obviously, you're normally not going to get into those situations, but still, it's one of those aircraft. And it is just a very, very fun aircraft. I really kind of don't like the idea that it is 9.3, because compared to the CL Mark 6, for example, that it's a 9.3, compared to the Lightning, compared to most aircraft, this aircraft is amazing. But because of the way that people play with it, it kind of has a bad name to it. And it's kind of one of the rarest, or I think it's the rarest MiG-21 as well. Due to, I mean, we have two premium MiG-21s that are kind of rare, but you always see one of them flying around, right? The SPS and the S, you know, you see a lot of them flying around. And the PFM, you don't see too much of them. Even the players that got them normally don't like to play it, and it's kind of a forgotten aircraft. The funny part is that the SPS, it is a 10.0 aircraft. The only difference between that aircraft and this one, in a general sense, is the weaponry. Of course, you can still take the flares and stuff with that, but you lose the cannon, so it's not really worth it, right? But still, only the R60 makes it an aircraft that it is 10.0 instead of 9.3, which is funny. It's the same aircraft. It's the exact same aircraft. The SPSK, it is a PFM on the German service, so it is the same aircraft, same engine, same performance, same radar, same pylon, same everything. The only thing that it differs from the other one is the missiles, and it has the R60s. Obviously, the R60 is a missile that is very, very capable, especially at these BRs. Of course, if you had an R60 missile on 9.3, I don't think we have one. I think maybe the Yak-38, but the normal one that it's premium that you cannot buy anymore. Maybe it's a 9.3 with an R60, but even that, the performance of it is just bad. If you take an aircraft like this and put an R60, obviously the BR should be higher, but it's just to show that even though they are the same aircraft, nobody hates the SPS. Everybody that has it loves the aircraft, and it's such an amazing aircraft, and etc, etc. But the PFM, everybody hates it. And it's the funny thing, of course, the R60 helps it, but it is the same aircraft. I think it's just a psychological thing of, if you get kind of a guaranteed 2 kills, a guaranteed 2 kills, you know, each match, with the 2 R60s, and if you don't have that, it kind of becomes kind of a psychological thing of just don't liking the aircraft, not liking the aircraft, right? So it's weird. It's really weird. I love it. As I said, it is considered one of the worst MiG-21s in the game, and it is an event vehicle, but a lot of people just, I mean, not a lot of people, but just like, it has a learning curve, so you have to just keep calm and just keep playing it. Eventually, you will get good at it, and especially if you are buying such an aircraft to research the Russian Tech 3, the Soviet Tech 3, or something similar to that, make sure to consider that it is one of the, I mean, of course we have the MiG-21S, right, which would be a very, very good option over this one, and probably even better. The SPS, depending on the price that it is still very, very capable. The last time I checked, it was $30 or 30 gaijins, or around that price. So it was half price of the MiG-21S. Of course, you don't have the premium bonuses, and you would probably need to get a talisman to help it out. But still, and you don't have the max efficiency, stuff like that. But it's still like kinda half price, the MiG-21S and the MiG-21 SPS. So it's an alright option. As I said, depends on the price. I have to check the price again, but still, it is an aircraft that not a lot of people fly today. And as I said, it's one of the rarest MiG-21s and probably my favorite MiG-21 of all time. Of course, we have to love the MiG-21 bis, but I love the PFM just because of the half measure, you know, fuel tank on the spine of the aircraft. It's such a beautiful aircraft. As I said, it has its problems. I really would love to see an R13 engine on here, but that's why we have the S, that's why we have the MF, the M in the future, aircraft like that, right? So yeah, it's funny, but it's still one aircraft that I love it so much. And yeah, so yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the MiG-21. I know a lot of people, as I said, hate this aircraft in a general sense. As you see here, I'm struggling to have energy to actually keep fighting. I have to control the turns, and that's the thing. It's a very, very hard aircraft to master, these more low-powered ones, and especially with the guns. The GSH-23 is a very good gun in my opinion, but it's still one of the hardest guns to learn compared to a Vulcan or something like that. So yeah, and worst kill that I got killed by. So yeah, see you guys. Bye. Subscribe.